Soup. It's not just for lunch anymore. My soup can be served hot or cold. It can be an elegant appetizer for a fancy dinner party. Try my carrot soup with ginger. Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of Let's Celebrate TV. I'm your host, Peter Lee. On this channel, we teach you all about celebrating. We show you recipes for hors d'oeuvres, cocktails, entertaining tips, and we try and make it simple for everyone, even those of you who say you can't do it, because we know that you really can. So if you like our episode, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and you'll get a new episode every single week. Today's celebration is all about soup. You know, it's winter, it's kind of cold, the flu is going around, so what better way than a nice, healthy, warming soup? And today we're making carrot and ginger soup. You're probably thinking, carrots and soup, not so much. Well, guess what? It's delicious. So let's get started. My little Dutch oven here, my favorite cast iron. I'm gonna light my little burner. All right. Medium-low heat. We're gonna start off with a couple tablespoons of butter. Now, how bad can it be when you're starting off with butter? Just gonna get that in. Let it start to melt a bit. Whoop. Here, in my bowl, I have a stalk of celery and a large onion all diced up. We're going to dump it right in the pot. Pretty easy. Now, as I make a lot of noise and a mess in the kitchen, you just want to let this saute a bit. You don't want to get it brown. You didn't want to hear that sizzle. Low heat, medium-low heat. We're just softening. We're going to let them go for a minute. What you're going to see is the onions and celery will be a little translucent, like you can almost see through them. And I'm going to add just a pinch of salt at this point, just to help get them go. Just give it a little stir, and then relax. Let them go. Alrighty, our celery and onions are going well. Now we're going to add a little bit of ginger. This is fresh ginger, often called a hand of ginger because they come, looks like a hand. So I have, looks like less than a teaspoon, but it's actually quite a lot. I grated this down on my microplaner, and it's fresh ginger, so it's a lot more powerful than dried or frozen. Right in the pot. You could use dried if you had to. You could use little frozen cubes or even the stuff in the tube, but get fresh. You can find it everywhere and it's not expensive at all. And you'd be surprised how much you'll incorporate that into your daily diet. Next, the main star are carrots. I have 2 pounds of carrots that I've just sliced into coins. Now you want to try and keep the slices about the same thickness, and that's going to help them all cook at the same time. Right in. All right. So give this a little stir, get everything coated in that butter, because butter makes it all better. Next ingredient, I have a can of cannellini beans, or white kidney beans. 15-ounce can, just one, in their juice, the whole thing in the pan. What are the cannellini beans going to do? They're going to act as a thickening agent, and they're going to help make the soup velvety and wonderful. All right, so that's all going. Next is vegetable stock. Now I'm using a store-bought ingredient, stock in a box. Now this is vegetable stock. This one is kind of dark because it has a lot of carrot juice in it, which is why I bought it. Also, this is unsalted stock, which I prefer to use. You can use whatever you like. But in this case, the beans have a lot of salt in them, so I didn't want to have it over salted. It's easier to add it a little later than to try and take it out. 4 cups, which is 1 box. Then we're just going to pour this all in. We're going to bring it to a boil, and then we're going to reduce it to a simmer. There we go. And we're going to let it simmer until all the vegetables are very tender and soft. 20 minutes, half hour, it's going to depend on your stove and how thickly you cut your carrots. So I'm going to put this cover on. I'm going to let this come up to a boil. And once it's simmering, I'm going to go and get a glass of wine. Alrighty. It's been about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Let's check our soup. Get rid of, lovely. Let's get rid of that. Let's see how this is all softened up for us. Perfect. And really, at this point, you cannot overdo it. Even if they were really mushy, you're going to blend it up together. So this is just the right stage. Now, a little stir just to help it cool a little bit. The next step, making this soup, is that we're going to blend it all together. Now, you could do this in a food mill, you could do it in a blender or a food processor. If you don't have any of those, invest in a stick blender. And that's what I'm going to use. Be very careful. It's very hot. All right. And very loud. Now, the great thing about this soup is how versatile it really can be. So, for example, I might say here on Let's Celebrate TV, it's Be Kind to Vegetarians Week. This is a vegetarian soup. I use vegetable stock and all vegetables. You could easily make this vegan too by omitting the butter. Now in a little bit, I'm going to add some heavy cream. We'll leave the cream out. Totally vegan. Alrighty. A couple more ingredients. Before we add them, I want to taste for seasoning. A little bit, very hot. It's pretty good. Needs a little bit of salt because remember, my vegetable stock was unsalted. Salt and a little bit more pepper. Just a pinch. Don't want to overdo it. Next, fresh nutmeg. You've seen me use nutmeg before. Not too much. Fresh nutmeg is very powerful. Just a few grates. That should be good. And that's the best part. Heavy cream. I have a half a cup of heavy cream. And we're just going to mix that right in. Now, if you want to make this vegan, as I said, leave out the heavy cream. Change the butter for olive oil or some other vegetable-based oil. Lovely. Now, I used a rather dark stock. If you use a lighter colored stock, your soup will be a lot lighter. But this looks fine to me. This looks delicious. Now, how are we going to serve that? Well, let me clear the deck. All right, so first, we'll have a nice little bowl of soup. Nice little soft bread. You can dip. Deliciousness. Now, wouldn't that be a lovely thing to have on a cold winter's day? Let's put this over here. maybe you're feeling a little fancy. Now, here's how I like to serve soup. I like to serve shots of soup. In fact, for dinner parties, I like to do a flight of soups as a first course, and I'm going to be doing that for my Valentine's formal dinner this year. So we just take a funnel and these lovely little miniature Pilsner glasses, fill them right up, and try not to be messy. Alrighty, almost there. One more. Now we have 3 shots of soup. That's kind of fun, isn't it? Couple different soups, a nice cocktail. How fun is that? But then, you know, maybe it's a cold, rainy Sunday afternoon and you just want a soup and sandwich for lunch. You can always just use a good old coffee mug like this Let's Celebrate TV coffee mug coming soon. You can just have this with a nice grilled cheese sandwich. So have carrot soup instead of tomato soup. Lovely. So we have this wonderful soup. We've served it 3 ways. It's hearty and warming, easy to make, and you know, it's pretty low fat too when you come and think about it. So there we go. That's our episode. Thank you for joining me today. Now, as always, what do I always tell you? I'm going to have this recipe up in the comment section on YouTube. And we love hearing from you. We love that when you follow us and like our videos. And we love your subscribers. And always follow us on Facebook too. We love it. Send us pictures. Make this soup and send me a picture of how you're going to serve it. Tell me, there's all kinds of ways you could change this soup and make it your own. You could make it spicy or smoky, whatever. I'd love to hear your ideas. So that's our episode. Thank you again so much for joining us. And as always, I need my wine with my soup. Cheers. Well, looks like he hasn't taken the picture yet. That's delicious. He'll never notice. We'll just do that. Cheers.